We know that education is everything. Education is the compass that directs us to tomorrow. It prevents us from getting lost or losing our way in a society that is increasingly becoming focused on trivial, material things, a society that has lost sight of what matters most. One of the largest challenges that man faces is the age-old need to find a focus for his living. The great poet, pastor, and writer Henry Van Dyke summed up this concept in a bit of verse that I want to share with you. 4 things a man must do if he were to make his record true: to think without confusion clearly, to love one's fellow man sincerely, to act with honest motives purely, to trust in God and heaven securely. It's a simple verse, but it sums up profound themes of life. You are blessed to be able to do a work that is meaningful, enjoyable, and can give you great ultimate satisfaction. Our work is one of the ways in which we will define our life's legacy. At the end of the day, how much we've earned, how many homes and cars and diamonds we've acquired are no comfort. True success and purpose is defined not by making money, but by making better communities and better societies in which to live. Wealth can give you things, but it can never compensate for a life not fully lived. The true source of peace is knowing that we are exercising our power and resources to help those that are less fortunate, that we are using what we have to be a leader for change. It is the responsibility of each of us who has been given the opportunity to be educated to educate someone else. To whom much is given, much is truly required. We must not be silent as prison buses roll through our communities, collecting our children and driving away. And yes, we have a lot to fight. We live in a society that celebrates stars who behave badly and are the poorest role models for our children. Yet we cannot remain silent. I know that it is difficult for you. There are no doubt that as educators you are bombarded with a set of environmental and cultural issues that we never even imagined a decade ago. It cannot be easy for you trying to teach children with serious issues of low self-esteem, lack of self-respect and respect for others, and a sometimes dangerous desire to fit in at any cost. It cannot seem fair to you that with families at home with no fathers and fractured relationships and families, that it is left to you to teach our children that they are worthy and valuable. But it is worth it. Believe me, I speak on this issue not from some distant place as a visitor or a tourist to this issue. I am that child. First at East Highland, then at Carver, then at Dothan High School. Someone taught me and made me believe that I was valuable and worth it. Now my life and my mission is among the disenfranchised. For those who cannot speak for themselves, it is my passion and the business of my soul. That is why I cannot look away when I see more black boys going to prison than I do to university. How can we believe and delude ourselves into thinking that by locking people up in steel and concrete cages that we are really making society safer when we have to let them out one day with the same issues they went in with and some they picked up in prison? It cannot be business as usual, people. It cannot be business as usual, people. Our lives truly depend on it. That's why, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, we must be the change that we want to see in the world. In the words of Michael Jackson before he went crazy, it's got to start with the man in the mirror. We need to enter into a covenant with ourselves today. We need to enter into a covenant with ourselves today to embrace a spirit of excellence that will permeate every day of this school year. Hold steady to your vision, and no matter what, don't give up. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, this is the true joy in life. being used for a purpose, being a force of change. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to these children, and as long as I live, it will be my privilege to work for them. I want to be so thoroughly used up when I die that someone stands at my funeral and says, "Death, thou hast been cheated. Life got the best of Rose." For the harder I work, the harder I give, the more I live. Do not let life be a brief candle for you that flickers anytime the wind blows. Rather, let your life be a splendid torch that burns as brightly as possible, so brightly and hotly that it is difficult for you to hold sometimes, but must be held to light the way for future generations. Held until age or infirmity makes it impossible, and it has to be passed on. Yes, these are hard times. The times may be tougher. The ground to harvest the seeds that we must plant might be harder and rockier. But it can happen if we unite for a common goal of one school, one education, an educational system where the street sweeper's son will get the same education that the superintendent's daughter gets. It can happen, and we're not the first society to address these issues. In the words of a 20th century poet who was talking to his people about the problems they faced in 20th century England, he said, "Be strong. We are not here to play, to dream, to drift. There is hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not the struggle, embrace it. It's God's gift. Be strong. Say not the days are evil. Who's to blame? And hold your hands and acquiesce. Oh, shame, stand up, speak out, and bravely in God's name. Be strong. Yes, we can, Dothan, if we just stay strong." Thank you.